I guess this is kind of officially like our first gathering as yoga rebels. And for everybody watching. So our discussion and by discussion I mean like our texting was, all right, let's wear some Star Wars outfits.
Because we both have a lot.
And just wear whatever you've got. And we both ended up wearing the same leggings. That was not by design, that was by accident. Which I think just that just validates like the whole thing that we're doing anyway. So, okay, so...
expect matching outfits.
Yes, and it will not be on purpose. Oops, by accident. This is, so when I was at Target, when Erin and I were at Target yesterday, I got a bunch of, well, not a bunch. I tried to get a lot. I said to myself on the way in, I need some Star Wars Christmas stuff. And
I like that you actually said that. It's like, it just happens to me.
Yeah. And because I was specifically like, I only have one Star Wars thing that's Star Wars that's Christmas specific, and it's Darth Vader with a scarf that a student gave me. That's the only thing that's Christmas specific.
I cannot say the same.
I got this, which I like because it's proper Yoda. And then I'm a little disappointed. Well, number one, everything is in the men's section and the small kids section. There's nothing in the women's section that's valid, that's helpful. You know, it doesn't have pictures.
Not right now, at least.
So the pajamas that I got were stormtroopers with Santa hats on.
Yes, my husband has those.
Yeah. So they are small men's pants. Not yoga pants, pajama pants.
Are they the fuzzy fleece ones?
They're soft. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to wear Christmas morning.
Our Christmas tree is decorated in probably 50% Star Wars ornaments. We also have those little bobbleheads that they sell everywhere. I forget what the company is, but we've got...
Are those Funko Pops?
The Funko Pop ones. Yeah, we've got a bunch of those, but we have one that is kind of like a knockoff of that, and it's Darth Vader wearing a Santa hat and holding a present for some reason. So that is one of our Christmas things that we have. But we've got every year with every new Star Wars thing that's come out, they've introduced more ornaments too. So we've got probably all of them.
Good for you.
We've got, our tree is mostly Star Wars. And then today, this is somewhat separate, but on the same kind of nerd track, I learned that they put out ornaments from Alien. So they have the Queen, they have another alien, they have a Ripley ornament. So I feel like the tree is just going to go full nerd tree.
Yeah.
So if I get 3 alien ornaments, then I feel like I need to just keep that going and kind of build a sci-fi tree.
I hope Erin doesn't watch this because that's I think that's going to be your Christmas present for Erin.
I'll send you the link.
Okay, good. Yeah. He's huge. He's a Geeker fan, so.
This is Ripley's insignia in the very, very first one because she is an executive commander.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I got that my first day of grad school because I was I'm starting a new life. I am very inspired by Ripley. I have been my whole entire life. I'm gonna be, I'm taking charge of my own Nostromo of my life.
That's awesome.
So it was literally, I had orientation for grad school, and then that was over, and then I rode my bike to get this tattoo, and I was like, I'm going somewhere with this. I don't know.
That's hysterical. And I wonder if there are people that are like, oh, is that some yoga thing?
Most people, nobody asks, or they ask what it means because they think I'm going to say it's something like Chinese or Asian or something.
I mean, it does look I Ching-ish.
Yeah, no.
Awesome.
And then when I tell them, either their eyes glaze over or or it turns out that they somehow, somewhere in their brain, remember some aspect of that, and then we get on a conversation about aliens. So it's like a 50-50 chance they're going to glaze over and go, okay, I don't need to talk to this person anymore.
That's how you weed out people.
Yeah, it is. It's a really good method, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, the Star Wars shirt thing, that was one thing that I have noticed since knowing you, is that we have probably most of the same Star Wars shirts. Yeah. So usually whenever I would see you, I'd go, oh, I have that shirt too.
Yep, I have that.
Or, we would both show up wearing a Star Wars shirt at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Yoga Rebels, we sat down and talked about what we're going to call this podcast. And because that's just as important as what we're actually going to talk about in the podcast. So, obviously we're both yoga teachers. We're both huge yoga nerds in like the history, the philosophy, the anatomy, the asana, like the intention, like where it's gone, the culture of yoga, like the whole thing. So from a yoga standpoint, we're all about yoga, and truly, like, one of the things that I connect my yoga and my Yoda, my leg tattoo that you can sort of see through my pants, it's my Yoda Buddha, and it's halfway done. I've been working on it for 2 years. So, like, the Buddhist philosophy, the yoga philosophy, and the Force and Jedi, completely, I mean, that's the answer. Like, and even when I was in we were talking about chakras this weekend in meditation workshop, and we're talking about like the prana is life force and all that, and I'm just like, it's the force.
Duh.
And then a gal in class, we were talking about the chakras, and Marcia Miller at Yoga on High, and she actually said not to say this outside. She's like, I did not say this. Don't say it outside of class. But
that's on the podcast.
But right. So she was talking about how so we were talking about the root chakra, Muladhara, and she's moving her pelvis, and we're standing up, and she's like, now imagine that there's a flashlight coming out from your pelvis, and you're flashing it forward and backward, like, as a way of grounding. But she said also, but don't be limited. Think of it going up as well. And so instantly in my mind, I'm like, that's a dual lightsaber. But then I thought, that's disgusting. That would cauterize everything all the way up. And then I will... Okay, so I'm going to admit I'm a little bit of an asshole. So then later on in class, so I did not say anything about Star Wars or lightsabers at all, and I was really proud of myself. And then a gal raised her hand, and she's like, well, one of my yoga teachers described it as being like a lightsaber, and it's light coming out of one side and light coming out of the other. And then one of the other yoga teachers, one of the other leaders was like, oh, a lightsaber, that's great. And I'm like...
You're like... Oh, nerd!
Number one, lightsaber. Rising. Number two, it's not just like a flashlight. This is a weapon. It's the Jedi's weapon. Anyway, so clearly we are Star Wars nerds, and nerds of all kinds. Harry Potter, Star Trek, Alien.
Oh, Alien, that's a big one.
Like all the things. And so the Rebels part is bringing together the nerddom stuff, but also the idea that just because it's been taught this way for 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 years doesn't mean that it was right to begin with, and doesn't mean that it applies now.
Right.
And so the rebellion part is, like, anybody who knows me or knows my teaching in my studio, I'm completely against skinny white girl yoga. I don't care what my body shape is. I realize that I look like a hypocrite saying that. But I'm against we were texting about this, like, these effing commercials. We're watching our YouTube stuff, and because Google or whatever eye is in my TV watching
algorithms,
yes, they know that I'm against this shit, and so we're watching these ads in between the videos of Alo Yoga, ALO.
I don't know how you say it.
Oh my god! And they're all these skinny girls that are like making these pretzel things, and they're like all like they're beautiful and they're flowy, and it's nobody in my classes looks like that.
No, mine either.
And I don't know how I would feel comfortable wearing those clothes, and it makes me feel bad because I can't do those poses.
Yeah.
I don't want to do those poses, but first I'm like, but I can't. and then I just crumble from there, and I look fat and stupid in those clothes, and they probably don't look practical to me. So like,
it starts this whole train of thoughts. Yeah, and then as a yoga teacher, it's like, oh, but I'm a yoga teacher, so like I should probably dress like that, and I should probably look like that, and maybe I shouldn't wear a Star Wars t-shirt every time I teach. Oh,
right.
And yeah.
And so, so the rebellion part is going against all of the stuff that we all keep saying in yoga classes, that we keep saying in life. Like let's just stop and reevaluate what's the facts. What are the facts? What's the science? What's the research? And and the things that don't have any research behind it, let's just apply some common sense.
Right.
And stop just repeating shit because your teacher said it or somebody else said it.
Right.
Look into it.
Right, yeah. Applying critical thinking to your yoga practice. And if something doesn't feel right to you, it probably is not right.
Yeah.
So not viewing yoga, we were talking before too, like these categories of people that do yoga, and the one category is people that view it as a panacea, as like a cure all for everything. So they are completely baffled if they get hurt in yoga, because yoga fixes things. Yoga is a panacea. Yoga is a cure for all the things. So it must be me.
I mean, it's not. I mean, yoga is not like just jumping into a pile of cotton. It's not.
It's work.
Yeah, I mean, it's you're engaging muscles. You're creating proper alignment in your body. And you're using your mind in all sorts of ways. Like, you're just not coming in as jello.
Right.
So there is a potential for injury. And I think that's also part of what we're trying to get across to people as well, is like, if you get injured, it's not that you are a bad person and you should stop doing yoga. It's just like, I mean, I've been injured playing basketball. I've been injured playing volleyball. I've been injured cooking. I've been injured curling my hair. It's like people get injured when you're not being mindful. If you're not in the moment, staying present, watching your breath.
Right.
How many times have I hurt my back because I wasn't paying attention to my exhale when I was doing a thing?
Yeah, I got hurt a lot when I first started doing yoga because I wanted to look perfect in the poses. Even if it wasn't something I didn't have specific strength for in some area of my body, I would still jam myself into that shape because I don't know why, because everybody else was.
Well,
there's like yoga peer pressure. We need to talk about that too, because it's all just implied. Nobody's really even looking at you.
No. I mean, and if people are looking at you, it's because they're like, oh, I'm going to try to be like her. So, like, if you were to put everybody in a circle, everybody's trying to be like everybody else. And, hurting themselves or feeling bad about it. Or, I mean, because we all have different bodies. We do different things with our bodies. And that's just life. And I will say, like, from the way that I grew up, I was heavily influenced by magazines. So I grew up reading 17.
I did too. That destroyed me. Oh, God.
The only positive thing I can say that came out of reading 17 magazine was my girl, Mila Jovovich, who's #1 badass.
Yeah.
Does all of her own stunts.
Fifth Element was so good.
Fifth Element, Resident Evil, she is a badass.
And then she was in a band for a while with the guys from Tool. Like, did you hear that?
Yeah,
did you hear any of that? And
I didn't listen to the music though, but I know.
It was really good. So she's like a good singer. She put out an album at one point, which I don't really remember. That was like early 90s, I think. But yeah.
She's a badass. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's just like, that's the one benefit that I remember from 17 magazine is she was even remember the cover. I remember her face on the cover because she and I are the same age. And so it just makes me feel good. Like, I can be a badass too.
Yeah.
And it's just genetics that makes her thin.
Right, she is one of those people. Because if you've seen her in
Fifth Element, she has no boobs.
It's just genetics that she looks like that. Yeah, and she's like, she's in the minority, and going back to like the yoga commercials or ads that you see in Yoga Journal. I don't even subscribe to Yoga Journal anymore.
That's the other
probably
publication
better
filter.
now. I don't know. I feel like they've moved in a more body positive place. But when I was subscribing, like in the early 2000s, it was just as bad for my brain as 17 was when I was a teenager, because the thing they don't tell you is that a lot of the people that you're looking at in these ads have a background in dance. They have a background in gymnastics that they probably started when they were really little. And then also, P.S., they're a model. So
Right. So you're not going to ever look like the pretzels on the cover.
No. And I really would look at those and flip through all of these ads of these women that were in the pretzel poses that were very, very thin, and I would think, but I'm a yoga teacher and I can't do that, so maybe I'm not a good yoga teacher if I can't do that. Maybe. And then the thing that I've brought up before is when I haven't gotten it in a while, because I think I'm old enough now that people know better, but when I first started teaching, occasionally I would get the "you don't look like a yoga teacher" comment, and I have other yoga teacher friends that have gotten that too, and that's just like kicking somebody in the stomach.
It truly is.
And I think at times it was meant as a compliment, and it was coming from a place where somebody was saying, "You look to me less intimidating than these people that I see in the magazines or in the ads." But as a person, it's really hard to hear that and not go, "Ooh, okay, so you just said I'm fat or I'm something."
Well, here's my thing, though.
I automatically jumped to fat. I'm like, okay, you just said, "Oh, you're the fat yoga teacher, aren't you?"
But arguably, though, when I think of so my question is, what do people think a yoga teacher looks like? And to me,
let's ask people. Maybe we should.
Because to me, a yoga teacher is the old lady who's got like all the beads and all the scarves and like clothes just hang on her, and she's just like peace and love and everything. That to me is the yoga teacher.
I don't even know anymore.
I think if you don't look like a yoga teacher, it's because you look schoolish. You look like a grad student.
I was born with glasses. And a Star Wars t-shirt.
Yeah. So.
And I don't dress, and I think both of us do this thing too, where we're like, I will not buy the $200 yoga pants, not just because I can't afford them, but two, I don't want to. I don't want to wear the clothing that's going to make me like go broke so that I look. I don't know what the goal is, and I know that people get really caught up in that in studios too, like larger studios, that people that practice there get really caught up in like the expensive pants, the expensive yoga tops. The thing now is like just the sports bra, but the sports bra is like $80 and the pants are $150. Like, I have never even wanted that, but it's more out of principle than it is out of having money. Like, I want to be comfortable, but I just feel like that piece, the capitalism piece, is so anti-yoga that I can't get on board with it. Like, most of my yoga clothes came from Target or the clearance section at Marshall's.
I'm thrift store, and then the stuff that came from Target is because it's Star Wars stuff.
Same, this was from Target. All of my Star Wars shirts are from Target.
Is that a girl's shirt? A women's shirt?
That is it might be a pajama shirt.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. Like,
I don't even know anymore.
Target, would you please give us Star Wars stuff for women?
Yeah, this is like a racerback thing. I have two of these that I think they were meant to be pajamas, but I was like,
whatever.
Nobody will know.
Yeah, because I wear a small men's shirt, and then I wear a large kids shirt. And that's how I get my Star Wars stuff.
And the kids' shirts are cut differently.
Yeah, they are. I mean, because the shoulders are in here.
The neck and the shoulders are higher, and then sometimes they're too short.
So I cut little V's in my throat, for my throat, and then I'm just like, okay, well, I guess it's a belly shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a couple
But that's it. Target, look, we're buying stuff anyway. You need to make stuff for us.
Specifically women's
or just Burg and Lauren.
Or just
religious stuff.
Just like nerd culture. Get some Harry Potter leggings in there. We'll buy them.
Yeah.
Like I got, yeah.
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome. They do have a pack of the 12 Days of Christmas socks. They have Harry Potter socks. They have Star Wars socks. Now it's in the kids section, which is really weird. But they were women's socks. So that's what Erin's getting me for Christmas.
Yeah.
Right, babe?
I always get Star Wars presents, but then my husband always gets Star Wars presents from me too. Star Wars Legos are big in our house too. I think that's a thing. Yeah.
So if we described Yoga Rebels enough?
I would say that there's the rebel piece of it can go in a few different ways. So there's obviously the nerd piece, but then there's the piece that leads more towards body acceptance. There's a piece that leads more towards for women, and specifically the ability to take up space, rebelling against the yoga body type, whatever that is, and being free to exist in the world and on your mat and take up space. Kind of like breaking down the stereotypes and using common sense
And I would
critical
argue,
thinking, science to back up what we're saying too.
and I think that, just so that we can sort of be a little bit all inclusive here, this isn't just like against the patriarchy, because truly, like, a lot of shit that women do is for other women. We're competing against each other.
The pants, the expensive pants. It's like a signal to the other.
You can't just blame them for the
herd.
shit that we ended up in. I mean, we're perpetuating our own problems. So this is, it's not just against the patriarchy. I don't want to seem like we're anti-man. No. We're pro people.
Yeah,
people be people. I don't care what you have between your legs.
And even like the whole like patriarchy thing, I think that does not benefit men either, because then on the other side
they didn't do it.
The other side of that too is that whole thing is what makes men think that they can't go to yoga, or that yoga is not for them, or that it's too feminine or too girly, or whatever the thing is that they think, because they need to be manly and do bro stuff. And
hey man, if you want to wear nail polish, fucking wear nail polish.
You can,
wear a tutu.
I encourage that.
I literally do not care either. I like seeing men in kilts.
So Scottish themed yoga class.
Make sure you're wearing underwear. That's my only request.
For downward facing dog, yeah.
Yes, that's my only request.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're really excited about doing this podcast because we're both extreme nerds about all this stuff. We like to talk about it. We want to educate it. And that's the most important thing, I think, is that, like, we're not trying to lord over anybody with knowledge. We want to share it so that people feel better about themselves.
Right.
Come to yoga, practice yoga. It's hard, but it's simple. But I mean, just do it. And there's so much stuff to learn and to love about anatomy and your body and your mind and
it's empowering.
All this stuff.
It's empowering to understand why yoga works, or why your body feels a certain way, or why your mind feels a certain way while you're doing yoga or after doing yoga. And none of the information that we'll present is meant to make anybody feel smaller. It's to make them feel more empowered to
expand your mind.
Yeah, and think critically. Why am I doing this? Like, why do I feel better after I practice yoga? Why might I feel worse? What can I do to prevent that? And it's approaching it with that curiosity too. Just like adding more curiosity into everything. When you do that in your yoga practice, it just goes into everything else too.
It really does.
Yeah.
So this is Yoga Rebels. I'm Burgundy Michelli.
I'm Lauren Strong.
And we have yet to think of some like cute little saying that we're gonna say, but go.
We got a logo.
We got a logo. What more do you want, people?
Stickers.
I certainly want stickers and t-shirts. So that's gonna happen. Anyway, see you next time.